seu pé, seu pé, seu pé, seu pé. We are glowing up again. It is definitely, 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 definitely. Such a radiant, lovely, bright, beautiful blue sky. Blue sky. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful day today. Are you feeling it is literally the most ecstatic day there ever was. The most gorgeous, the most gorgeous, the most gorgeous day there ever was. It is literally such an amazing, profoundly amazing transmission we have for you. This lovely, 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 lovely day. This is the vibe, guys. One-on-one. You on you. We are feeling so ecstatically happy. We are feeling so, oh, so happy. Today we're going to be talking about picking your first crystalluski, your first mineral, your first rock, your first gem. It doesn't necessarily have to be your first. But today, we're going to speak about why it's such an orgasmic, empowering experience with one of my favorite stones, and it's honestly, I would call this stone the missing. This is literally the most intelligent stone there is. I honestly, don't have this stone. It's my favorite stone, and you know it's hard to pick favorites when it comes to something like this. But I honestly believe this is my favorite stone. It's because there's so many great ones, and I'll say this first. I've been without the stone's presence, and I've come back to the stone's presence because you have to understand these are challenging things to understand. A lot of research has to be done to understand the effect of minerals on consciousness and being, and ultimately, irrespective of what others say, you actually have to have the experience, and you have to have that experience subjectively, and you also have to have that experience objectively. And so, you know, what's most important is the subjective experience, because, I mean, that's the only experience that counts on a level. And, you know, therefore this is my anecdotal experience. And I've done the research. There's definitely more to keep, you know, researching. But I tend to lean toward citrine. This glowy yellow, delightful stone. Definitely have a citrine. I don't know what I do. I'm gonna go, this is just intuitively splashing here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say, black people, if you like citrine, you know, go ahead. Because citrine is definitely made for you. It's the stone of power, in my opinion. It's literally infinite juice. It's literally infinite juice. And that goes for you too. That goes for anybody who wants a citrine. I feel like citrine is literally, as soon as I start holding it, I feel like a rep inside of my arm. Like I feel, as soon as I touch it, I literally feel the energy of just vitality. There's not a lot that I can do to really explain it. It's just that, like, citrine is literally the most powerful stone ever. And it's because it's like it's the sun, it's the juice in the sun. I believe it goes with your solar plexus. That's definitely my understanding. I haven't like double checked the things that I've studied over time, even the things that I've used, and it's because even though I am a yogi, I mostly study through breath and through the actual visceral experience. And so when I'm performing certain exercises as of late, I'm not really so much focused on the chakras and those actual energy centers, though I've done it. But anyway, this is a very actual, please, be real. Citrine is insanely intense, but it's literally like if you were going to defeat the last level, you would have had to have picked up Citrine along the way. Like in the Grand Architect, the Grand RPG, if there was going to be a set and you would make it to the end of the RPG, you would not have been able to make it there if you had not had Citrine. It's like vitamin C, but literally, like in the stone, like you can literally feel the intensity. I'm holding it in my hand right now. I can distinctly discern the difference between. Let me get a sip of water for this. I can distinctly discern the difference between holding the citrine and not holding the citrine. It's literally the most empowering stone. I study this stuff, so I already get it. And like perception this is such a weird reality. Because as you may have known, I've mentioned in other transmissions. I'll just remind you in case it's for context. I'm an energy healer. I'm also a spiritual guide. I'm also a pragmatic life coach, and I like blending that reality with entertainment. There's lots of ideas being dropped down and downloaded into consciousness. If you're a conscious being, there are many, many things to pick up from your big day and our grasp of the greater reality and energy. But anyway, what's very interesting is, citrine. I just want to go over and over again how beautiful citrine actually is. If you wanted to boost your vitality, if you needed courage, if you needed courage, like if you had to, and let's be honest, from the lower level, or you're just looking strategically at life, if you look back, you can see most of the circumstances you had to deal with in life were due to leverage, right? Well, if you're going to a situation where you're not going to have a lot of, leverage, meaning, if you had to leverage, you might not want to deal with it. You know what I mean? You would go like, well, you would feel different about dealing with it, right? Like you might not want to deal with it, but no one can control you. So when you leave, you know what I mean, you have leverage. The separation just feels better to you if you're having conflicts or challenges, and you feel like you need some support, and maybe you're just you're vigilant. You're actually, number one, you're actually dealing with these things on your own. I would take citrine with you. If I were taking citrine, if you were going through the desert storm, through a haboob, if you were literally going to attack the final master, like if you were literally going to go to battle, and it would not lose, it would not lose, you would sense a different radiant outcome. You would sense that something is shifted. Like it actually, as energy, what I've experienced, it's synergistically and in energy with citrine. When I'm interacting with others, there's some sort of like flux of energy that it changes the sequence. It does something to protect you. It does. It literally does protect you. I would definitely, I've sensed Citrine. If I'm having like a, sometimes there's like a productive melancholic feeling that could loom over us if we are, it's not really more like a loom, it's just like you're thinking down to think of something good. It's this sort of like slow churn. Anyway, if you were afraid of a negative pull in your consciousness and perturbing your vibration because of your vortex, your orb for protection of your field and energy coming into it, because we want to stay in polarity or in some sort of like, because there's more than just polarity, and this is why this stuff gets really wild. There's more than just polarity. You know what I mean? There's stuff that, there's physics when you start. I mean, there's so many different ways that things can operate. Anyway, you want Citrine because Citrine it brings you over here to the meditation realm of the crystal reality. The crystal reality separates you from the frequencies of the other realities because you're in the crystal's reality. You're not even here with us. You're not even here with the people that you're interacting with. They're not even here. You know what I mean? So when you, I know that was a bit much never, right? It's because whenever I'm speaking from a place that's higher than the adept. You have to understand that it's really interesting speaking to you and sharing this on your big day. This is actually one of my most exciting, favorite transmissions. I love speaking about this because I have genuine mastery at this level, and I have so much life experience. I have so many. There's so much to speak to about it. Actually, there's just so much. So anyway, Citrine. For vitality, I'm not fucking with you as an energy master. I'm literally God. I'm telling you, this stone is insane. Like I said, I've spent years without it, and then come into alignment with Citrine again, and I can discern an actual difference. I can actually. I'm never gonna go without it again, because when I my first crystals, my strongest ones. Well, at the time, they were stolen by someone who cared about me. So that was, at least I knew who took it. But what's interesting is that I discovered from that separation with those stones, that was a little bit of a test to me because I was in extreme resonance with these stones. I can definitely clarify it for myself. Because you have to understand, you are the actual conduit of the energy. You are living technology. Gaia is living technology. You are designed to orient with the technology of the planet. There's things that you can hear. There's things that you can see. There's things that you can smell. There's things that you can taste. There's things that you can sense. And then there's other things, right? You can masticate on things. You can claw at things. They're invisible things. The environment is extremely interactive, and you, as a living technology, you are extremely, in tune with it all. It's crazy because you're looking at this thing I look at it from multiple different places at once. I look at it is it real? But anyway, grounding, part of grounding in my opinion is it is real. Because if it's not real, it's okay with it not being real, but to really feel something, right? You have to sort of, at least that's been my experience, you have to mate with it. You have to actually combine with it. You have to actually say yes to it. There has to be some level of connection. Okay, but yeah, Citrine, I just want to tell you, I personally can verify you. I am an energy healer. I am resonant. I'm actually empathic, and I'm clairsentient. I'm extremely in tune with these things. But I just want to let you know, I have said this in the past. For those of you who do not want to activate to the awareness of the other energies on the planet, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? I don't want everyone walking around with stones or whatever. Maybe that would be good for the planet. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. This thing, like I said, there are things to study. When you spend a lot of money in this area, you may come to the conclusion that I came to some time ago, and it's that, are these stones actually authentic? Because they are worth something. So I just want to point that out. So that's why it's also another interesting thing to, observe. So, but anyway, we're recommending citrine, but citrine is worth something. Citrine is a semi-precious stone, and like, it is worth something. So, as I'm telling you this, prepare for a journey. The citrine, it's what's so special about citrine? Well, one, it's invigorating. It's going to refresh in your energy. You're going to feel really happy about it. It's essentially like, it's impenetrable. Like I said, for vitality, as soon as I touch it, I can literally do like 20, 30, 40, 50 push-ups. But like with it's the difference is like how stimulating it is. It's how tight I feel when I'm doing it, how bouncy I feel when I'm doing it. It's different citrines resonate differently. I would pick the citrine that you intuitively connect to, because that's a sort of mating. If you want to think of it like like you're mating, you're connecting to the thing that you're connecting to, and it speaks to you. It has a relationship to you. There are different stones, and they do resonate differently. And the place that you get them from, I believe, in my experience, it does. Where they come from, how they were harvested, who collected them, the whole process does matter when it comes to picking a gem. And you can deconstruct that on your own. It's, you know what I mean? It is a mind maze. I have had experiences though where there have been more ethical places for getting minerals and gems and stones, and I've seen what's in the market out there, and I've seen the things that are around some of the energies. A lot of this stuff is pop cultural these days, and I think it's been like that for the last 20 years at least. I just didn't know it the whole entire time. But I know especially in the last 15 years, I believe, this stuff is just much easier to find. So anyway, do your research, and definitely invest in the citrine. I would at least get one, a really high quality citrine. And we will, I believe that I covered this already, we will have a transmission about sensing stones before you pick one. But if you can sense any property within your own being, when you connect with a stone, that's a really good sign. But this is what I mean. In the past, I had a partner. She did not like how she was having a response to the minerals. So, if you're gonna be handling stones, I'm not sure what your beliefs are. I'm not sure what you're connected to. You might have an activation or something. You might have, this person, they started seeing dead people or something. They started seeing, images of things that they did not like. And so, that's really more like that's a very particular experience. Yeah, so yeah, you really just enjoy Citrine. It's I know I mentioned the visions and everything, but you have to understand, looking into a crystal ball, I can see in your future that Citrine will not harm you. And the reason we're bringing it up is because Citrine is less cerebral. It's not really something to be considered a third eye stone in my energetic sensitivity, but it does empower your third eye. What do I mean by that? If you were using your third eye, since it synergizes, your will, your energy to do something, like your energy, your bravery, your courage to do something, it would facilitate helping you do anything. Does that make sense? So, if you're brave enough and you want to be interested in other things, you might actually lapse in time and change your personality because Citrine is so empowering. You might actually, this is why, people don't even report this stuff. I'm giving you an actual huge, tornado. If you didn't understand what I mean, it just depending on where you are in your life, you can become a completely different person. Meaning, I'm serious. It's so, most of what people have gates within them, you can call them. And some people don't have access. They're cursed. You think of yourself as like a super being. You have access to these things, and you're cursed. And no one's telling you how to unlock yourself. You're walking around on the planet as a super being. Well, one of the gates to vitality is courage. And there's different levels of courage. There's colors. I would describe the Citrine, what it can create for you. You might glow at like a bright orange. Citrine, if you start radiating this bright orange color, you have no idea. If you have that much courage, it's bigger than fucking self-confidence, because I just want you to understand, these are the things that I've experienced with Citrine. You'll have so much courage, and you definitely want to exacerbate this courage, especially if you're heading toward something that you want in your life. This is, if you're, you know what I mean? If you are in line with your intuition, I would definitely allow the Citrine to help you. But this is what I mean. Citrine it's so, the level of courage that you will gain. I mean, there's a myriad of ways that it can manifest, but it's extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful. You feel this rush through time. Also, I've stimulated healing in my cells, and I can definitely feel a difference with Citrine. I definitely feel an ease of exercising. Citrine is exacerbated and multiplied by the power of the sun, by the way. If the sun is out, your Citrine is definitely going to intensify. I think that's generally true with all stones, because the sun is like the sun. But there's some Citrine being so sun specific in alignment with solar energy. The yellows, the oranges, even some of them get pretty clear, even too clear, I believe. Find the Citrine that's magical for you, and they're useful for different things, But Citrine, take these notes seriously. You definitely want to keep Citrine on your body. When it comes to most stones, if you want to access their energy, and this is a great mistake I think I see people not mentioning to others, your stone not being on your body is a mistake. The stone would preferably be in your palm. It would preferably be in your palm. I've been studying energy for a while now. The protection is there, but why you in your palm? You want to be touching these stones all the time. And this is why I'm bringing forth the caveat again as far as the effects. They do affect you cerebrally, but Citrine is a very soothing it's not the sort of feeling. It's going to be an up feeling. It's never going to be a down feeling. But anyway, you want to touch these things in the palm of your hand, these beings, this technology, and then you can start experiencing it. You can start interpreting it for yourself. You have to understand that these things do speak. They are technology, and this is why I love them so much, because it really, crystals are the thing, in my opinion, that brings back the life to your senses and allows you to interpret the reality in the way that you wish it were more. Because crystals actually prove that the world that you incarnated to naturally was already extremely advanced and articulate and exciting and had enough in it to keep, already, like, without you like doing anything. It's really nice. It actually really, it's extremely liberating, and it's something about it actually just makes you feel really happy, actually. Anyway, I would check on the reports of others if your curiosity of Citrine, but I just have to go on and on and on for Citrine because of the vitality. Citrine is insane for vitality, and like I said, the number one place a stone is useful is in your hand. You want to be moving it around your hand. You want some energy flowing through it, some sort of kinetic energy flowing through it. Your hands are electric, and they're big points of energy expression and energy reception. And it's not just via the gesture. It's actual technology. Like you actually do radiate from the palms of your hands, and you receive through the palms of your hand. And so you're going to be able to sense the energy just like everything else. You can sense it more with your hands. It's like your lips. It's just part of your body that's more sensitive. So the best place to take energy, to experience energy, would be the palms of your hand. Now you can place these in your third eye and your chakra centers. You can do alignments. These things, if you start having practices like these, you keep practicing other things, you become even more sensitive, and you'll really sense what we're talking about when we speak about things like this. But I don't feel that many people cover this subject very well, or even really at all. And so, I'll cover my favorites over time, because I think it's also something people find very interesting. And so, I know these are some of the things that blows people's mind. So I will continue to share. But this is definitely, like I said, if I were making like my like wisdom like pack right now, and I was gonna release it, I'm not one to really pick stones for other people yet, or maybe at all, because I just feel like the journey in you will find it in you. There's something special about it. But yeah, citrine. My God, citrine. If you don't have a citrine, it's literally like you're asking not to be the healthiest and most vital that you've ever been. It's also a stone of protection. It will buffer any negativity. But like I said, you might gain some level of sensitivity in the stones. You may not want to understand that you have an empathic, sensitive relationship with minerals, with the earth, with the cosmos, with the universe. You may not want to know that. You know what I mean? This is something you may want to consider if this is your first time hearing something like this, and that's, did you really understand that your purpose in being here in the universe and what it's capable of? Then if you didn't know it as fully exhausted, then it might be time to awaken their understanding more, while you're here having this experience. And so that's probably something that's going to happen at least a few times over the course of a normal human lifespan. Humanity learning something or sharing some information from a distant place, once in a while. Maybe, who knows how many times it's going to happen, but this might be a little bit of a mental, excitement, something, completely new to you. It's actually really exciting. I wouldn't miss on this though. So the citrine, definitely have citrine if you were going to be making a wizard's pouch, if you understand the powers of the earth, if you were going to be making a shaman's, if you were that kind of shaman, like if you were a starseed, if you're an indigo, if you just want to exercise better, if you just want courage. What is this? We're talking about spine, actually. We're talking about, but you have no idea. You have to sense this yourself. Like when it happens via energy, it's crazy because it doesn't actually feel the way that you thought it would. It actually doesn't, because the feeling, it genuinely feels like, looking back, it feels like something very cosmic. It's so cosmic. You're like, wow, like that's an actual force of nature. Like I feel an actual, like, elemental, actual, like, convergence. Awesome. So it's really actually really exciting, and yeah, enjoy this part of your journey. If you really, like I said, if you want to have a stone, and also, citrines, they're not really that hard to find, but like I mentioned, they are, all crystals are semi-precious. And I will just put this warning in my content. I'm not, and don't listen to this if you don't need to, because thoughts do harm. If even when innocuous, even when shared, if the intentions aren't pure or enough, and my intentions are really just mellow, because this is something that's not hard, but I just want you to understand there may be some forces out there that don't want you to know how hardcore citrine is, because they want you to listen to the way that they think of the world, and they don't know what citrine could do, I guess. But anyway, it's just understand citrine is actually, like, it's something you would actually find, like, in the legends of the old world, but it exists. But it's not a legend, it's just a mineral stone. But anyway, all I'm trying to tell you is that some people protect your citrine a little bit. That's all. It's not a big deal. Like, if you had one stone, no one would probably care. But if someone sees you asphyxiated to a stone, and they mention they have an issue with it or whatever, you might want to guard your property, because people would, your stone's not property, it's universal connectivity. Like, that's technology, it's a big deal. But please understand, having a citrine would make your life a better endeavor. Like, you would sense more balance and happiness. You would sense an upper resonance in thought and clarity. If you're manifesting, you're definitely going to want a citrine. Why? It's oh my goodness, we're going to have a completely different transmission for that. Because, I'll say it right here, but we'll go into the detail of it in another transmission. With citrine, what it does is it actually, there's something about manifestation. You can't actually want something if you're not in alignment with it. Does that make sense? So if you're trying to, you have to understand, this is also, we're not hacking, we're just trying to get to, the manifestation. But you have to have this sort of experience. This is why our content is rare and unique, and you heard it here first. It's your big day. When you use a citrine, the courage is necessary to connect you to the manifestation. Why? Especially in the beginning stages, you're gonna want this, and it's because without a citrine, you won't be able to connect to your manifestation, and it's because there's a loop in there that could harm you. It's the newness of it. It's your confidence. Your confidence when you're hopping across across the gauges, when you're hopping across, it gets shaky enough that the manifestation can't become clear for you. And it's because you're doing something that's technically impossible to the human mind with regards to what the human mind is actually used to. So since it's a new experience and it is frequency sensitive, you have to be able to, or feeling sensitive, you have to really be willing to, be with it. There's a lot of different ways to feel it, but anyway, for something to manifest really fast, there has to be this dimensional hop. You have to be, you literally have to be ahead of the actual manifestation. If you might sense a different relationship to time if you use Citrine. I just want to put this out there. Like I said, the vitality, there's almost like this, you shift because you're so far ahead. There's something, it's an amazing experience. It's just been such an amazing ride with Citrine all by itself. Citrine, like I said, it doesn't get touted very often. I've seen, if you were in affinity with the sun, I believe personally you are definitely in affinity with Citrine. I know everyone believes they're in affinity with the sun, but I'm just saying, like, for those of you who have a real, great relationship with the sun, you definitely have a really great relationship with Citrine. And other people probably might have a great relationship too. Would it be better? I don't know. I feel like the heightened radiance, like the confidence, like there's something that goes to you, I believe, for being that radiant with the sun, for being that radiant with Citrine. There's just something just goes there to me. But anyway, just speaking from experience, but definitely use Citrine. You practicing pranayama, use Citrine. It's gonna change your breath pattern. Why? Because you're gonna have, believe me, it's this throne of courage. So it's not that it's courage. It assists you. It changes your relationship to time space. It's amazing. You can sense you have to understand, you sense confidence, but it's not confidence that you're sensing, because your experience to time is shifting. You're experiencing confidence, but by the time you've already experienced it, you're already somewhere else before the experience even happened, because you can shift in time with Citrine. And that's one of the reasons why the outcomes come out better, and it's because you're ahead of the outcome. And you have to understand, like, the universe, you have to experience it yourself. It's all I can tell you is that it helps you sort out messes. And I would guard my Citrine if you really bonded with one, because it's the ultimate stone of actual like mastery of life. Like, you have to understand how something like that works for you. If you're interested, I can't take, it's a natural thing. So, if you don't enjoy it, I mean, it's just like picking up, it's just like learning anything in the natural world. And I can't take any responsibility for you, eating an apple. We all have to try an apple. We all have to try the things that are here. That's all that we can experience. That's all that we see. So anyway, I'm just being really honest with you. I would never live without a Citrine. I would never go without Citrine for the rest of my life, and it's because Citrine literally increases your vitality, you guys. It boosts your vitality. So even if I were in pristine health, I would still have a Citrine, and I am in pristine health. You have to understand, when you have phenomenal health, what did we find out? That we found out there was something better. We found out there were superfoods. Is there something after superfoods? Yeah, there is. What is there? Well, it's more like about how it happens. It's about like how it happens. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, please invest in a Citrine if you want more courage. If you want bravery, if you want a stronger will, if you want to boost your will, definitely use citrine. If you want to cross manifestational hurdles, definitely use citrine because it's courage. Sometimes you need an overburst of courage, because you have to understand, overbursting in an area completely clears your energy for another area. Meaning you can't even sense it. It's like you're flying so high, but like you're in a draft of your force of like jump. You can't. You're jumping that fast too. Like you're literally, it's like a hyper jump, but like on your leg, like you're just literally, you're going so fast, you know, that it's one of the reasons that you become courageous is because you're actually shifting in time when you use citrine. It's crazy. I highly recommend that you use it. You know, anyway, vitality, will, courage, and also it's in my opinion, citrine would never not harmonize with any other stone, you guys. Like, there's no way that citrine doesn't harmonize with any other stone. I would check other people's opinions of that, other beings' sovereign, you know, intuition. I could not ever give up my citrine. I don't think you would ever have to give it up. And also understand your will and the technology and the energies in your life. The technology responds to you too, because you're a specific being, just how we all have our own, the way that we live our life, we all have our own vibrational, like, orbular to us. We have our orbulation. You know, there's something about us that's the same when we agree, and there's something about us that's definitely, you know, rare and sticks out and unique about us. So, you know, there's that who you are. Anyway, just understand that you will be powered up with citrine. Citrine does do something. That's been my experience. I'm highly recommending it. I would never not recommend it to those of you who are on a voyage to infinity. Citrine is that stone. Like, citrine has to go. Citrine does not sit in the back. Citrine is the one. You don't. All right, I believe we covered everything. Also, we mentioned vitality, but I just want you to understand, for those of you who are super geniuses, you may not realize it, but your flow will be enhanced if you become a healthier body. If you have a healthier mind, a lot of it has to do with what you're consuming and what you're not consuming. For those of you who need a mental boost, you have to understand there's a lot of different ways to use your bandwidth and how to process thoughts. The energy that you consume allows your mind to actually navigate the web, the ecosystem, the space, the spatial reality of your thoughts in a more dynamic and harmonious and consistent and fantastic way when you are connected to the right energies. Don't be afraid of advancing. You'll love your mind, and falling in love with your mind and re-falling in love with your mind, this, you know, psychic, you know, creation that connects you to all of everything, is a very important experience. Okay, we're gonna just thumbs up on citrine. I feel so connected, even as God, you know, when I'm grounding myself in this reality. I have to say that citrine, even, I have an orange colored Herkimer diamond. This is my all-time favorite stone, actually. And I have an orange colored Herkimer diamond. And whoa, it has its own vibe. it does something different than the citrine. But you know, all stones that are orange do have the similar in color, do have like a resonance because of the mineral complex, and there's also something to say about connectivity with the experiences on the level. Like there's something connected, like an active component. But you know, citrine is citrine by itself. If you're wondering, from what I've experienced, citrine is citrine. So can you just buy another stone or collect another stone or come to another stone that is like similar, you know, hues or color part of the palette? You know, meaning it's like all the yellows, oranges, and red, orange, yellow, whatever blend that is. The pastellos. You know, can you just pick any stone because of the color? Citrine is citrine. I just want to put that out there. Citrine is citrine, and this is why you want to do your research. And it's because citrine is citrine. So please understand that. And you know, there's lots of lessons that will like encapsulate, and you'll be like smooth and like gone with it when you start learning energy around the planet, because it helps you understand polarity more and how natural substances do this all the time. And you'll see why humanity has not a hard time, but you'll see how shifting is so natural into order all the time, because when we're shifting, you know, things that energies that are like ours, you know, we shift toward this reorganization, this migration, this polarity, this flux is happening all the time. And you know, citrine, it can help you like leave a relationship. If you need power to leave a relationship, citrine will give you the force, the experience to feel like you've left already. You're going to be flying on this ray. There's gonna be a streak next to your body while you're like in a running position, literally like red, orange, yellow. You're like in the sky. Like they're not. You're so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy how it's experienced. It's crazy. But anyway, citrine, one of the most amazing stones. It literally is a companion in and of itself, to be honest with you. Don't be surprised if you feel like your stones are companions. Why is that? It's because of the way, on a level, how you bioconnect to them. They're like literally like magnets to your body. So it feels like, you know, a fusion. It feels like a chip being placed, not like a chip. It feels like an attribute has been added to your body, but more like a soul bond contract that you are agreeing to if you're sensitive to it. And for those of you who are more sensitive, you're gonna get the most, you know, from it. If you're empathic or you're sensitive and you are, you know, looking for things to connect to or to experience or to grow, citrine, if you're that lucky or somehow that randomly new. But anyway, we're gonna jump out of here. We might have to make another one. I'm just so amazed and blown away by my experience with citrine. It's honestly one of the greatest stones of growth, but it's really, in my opinion, pretty harmonious and easy to understand. And the experience is just, it's about the vitality. It's about speed, courage, and bravery. And just like I said, when I hold citrine, I actually stand up straighter. I do push-ups harder and more. My muscle has natural, like, stout turned, like actual tenseness in my actual body. Like when I do exercises, like I can do more reps. Like we're talking about literally, I can do more reps when I'm using Citrine. And then my ability to do more after that is also greater. Because Citrine also, it influences your, in my experience, it influences your vitality by improving your recovery, because it allows you to relax fast. Relaxing improves your recovery. You have to relax to recover. Like, but it's it happens so fast. It's really fast. You will sense the shift. Even if you're trying to relax, you're like, wow, like my body, like I felt my body like go back. Like I can do another one. There's all sorts of experimentation that you would enjoy working with it. You would be so happy all on your own. Like I would definitely definitely also Citrine can be a very strong force for for sunshine, for love. And it's, Citrine and the sun go together, so happiness goes together. That's why it's like the perfect combination, because it just brings like, you're gonna have sparks flying, like if you start working with Citrine. Like you're literally gonna see like romance like just hitting you in the forehead, like but like in the most beautiful way. You're just gonna be having crazy encounters, and it's because you're literally like, I'm telling you, Citrine, maybe it's just me because I was the one meant to find Citrine. Maybe you know what I mean, maybe I shouldn't tell anyone, but like literally, like Citrine's pretty intense. But anyway,